Alright, everyone, let's intensify the business case. Today, let's review it. This is the one that is, oh no. Recently, this energy product has probably been seen quite often. But that's different from theirs. This is made of steel. The steel gold-plated one is different from the high-grade one and the high-grade one. And the tall ones are actually quite expensive. That person was worth over 1,100. 1,099, I guess. In contrast, steel is actually quite cheap. Holding it in hand is just over 500. At that time, it was just a limited quantity and a small quantity, and the first batch seemed to be given away. The plating on the entire seat. Then, later on, it might be supplied in unlimited quantities. This pure steel diesel looks like it's blackened. So this luck is pretty good. They were foolish enough to sue. I think it's too expensive. I just didn't use F2 before. I've already taken over the F2 from Fan, so I said I'd make another one that was pretty similar. I said, raising it up is pretty good. If you're only a little over 500, you can still give it a try. Try it. And then it continued. If you were too high, I actually wouldn't have taken it. But later, when I heard it was from the second batch, and some people hadn't gotten a ticket. In other words, if it's empty, everyone has enough. Then in the second batch, there might still be a few left, but there wasn't one just now. Well, I guess this is a blessing in disguise. If others don't want it, just save up and check it out. The current price is pretty good. The launch price is 500. 500560. It should have tripled by now. The current selling price should be around 1,500. But it's hard to say for sure. Still has it. This item still has to be limited, even if it's not worth much. What about the limited quantity? That's just annoying. How many are you suing selling? Selling for over 3,000, over 3,000, or even 1,000. The materials are expensive, but you don't have to count them all. Then the spell was broken. Now it might be just over 700, and it's the other way around. Selling for over 1,000 yuan for 700. Selling for 500 yuan for 1,500 yuan is still not feasible. Just talking nonsense. Let's stop here. Now let's talk about this toy itself. I actually think the Gaokai is pretty good. But his exam, right? Actually, the work isn't as good as the rabbit from before, including the mix and rhythm exam, which looks great. Personally. As for the high-pitched black ones, the Easter eggs are still the ones that can be used. The design is actually relatively chibi style. Instead, at the time, people said the steel screen was black, meaning the writing was black. Maybe it's black plated with steel, material plated black. Then I think it's okay, and if you come back at worst, I'll do a second processing myself, right? Feng right? Ugly is a bit ugly, but we can do it too, right? What about the man? But the knife handler realized he was no longer needed. Pretty good. Whether it is gilded or not, we don't know, but anyway, this color is pretty good. The key is, what about gold and copper plating? At least this one looks good. It really is good, but I don't want to play anymore. After flipping so many seats, this is actually a treasure. And the one on my house has been completely messed up, poking too many times. Look at the high-intensity thrusts, they could stab that agent to pieces. Now just waiting for the new stock to hit the shelves. Hi. Catch up with him, I can't play anymore right now. Mix is pretty good at playing. And then there's also Dragon Green. Long Lu was taking it too far back. Wherever you go by the end of this year, that's already pretty good. So now there's nothing to play, and you have to be reluctant to play. He makes videos. Then I'll tell you all about it. So what about this? To be honest, this is what he said. Mine should be considered the very last in the first batch. Because it seems like we were all just released in the last wave. I thought it was released in the second batch, but one day it was released. They say it was before National Day. Then he said everyone was online. And during the National Day holiday, it was even slightly withdrawn. Actually, I was quite happy. Is this material cheap? Why are you playing with me about hair? But they added a gilded version. Isn't that right? If you're unhappy, then there's nothing left. No one has any objections. And the guys who sued DRP probably aren't very happy about it. However, regarding DRP, the feel might have been adjusted. Including my own, I think the feel might not be like this either. As everyone said, maybe this or that wasn't tuned well. Actually, I think the key is the tuning. This is said to be a mining machinery push. How do you really describe the amount of minerals he has? That's not guaranteed. And for this one, actually, the ore content is still a bit much, I think. 1 bit is bigger than the filter mix. Honestly, how can I say that DIY attribute is just too strong? Then you'll finish picking right away, and you'll feel all kinds of magical sensations. From the outside to the inside, I specially entrusted it to Long Dong. They've been ground with a grain of rice. How many times have they been ground? If you grind it down like this and then open it, it won't be returned. So there's not much comparison between them. So of course, let's wait for Dragon Jade to arrive and see how it goes. But overall, compared to this, soaking is really unavoidable, but oh, this stuff can't be helped. But to be honest, it's just a bit much. This is more about filtering and similar things. Top-tier products. That is, the industry has already recognized this. The top-spec model is indeed a bit larger. It's still about picking and also about saying yes. That person probably did feel a lot of pressure during delivery, right? Thousands are released at once. Then they make and pick again. Then Tian was fine because of that. Maybe I'll even try it out myself. Attach the screw. Every time you ask, you're just screwing in screws. The first thing you ask is to screw in screws. There's nothing you can do. There will be time later. Actually, once you tune it out, it's all pretty good. Actually, overall, the texture is quite good. And look, the clothing at the back is also being collected. These are the ones. And this part of the design is included. Actually, I think this part is stronger than Fanzy's. That Fanzy was naturally designed. There's a bit of a problem. That Teflon, if you can't help it, you have to adjust it. And the one has to press inward from both sides, deformed from the middle. This screw pressed that thing too tightly, causing the rabbit to deform and squeeze it. Squeeze it out and deform, then push it out and it won't work. But this watershed is not so bad. But with its design, this whole area is the place for the customer cycle, and the design form is still boundless. Overall, this control tactic might actually be intentional. This requires a certain amount of air safety. Then that's what you can do. Just push it out without slipping. Otherwise, just squeeze into Teflon. Once squeezed in, then deformed, it was unfavorable. You include that long sound, although this is basically the entry-level version. But look at this mineral amount. This frame quantity is actually described this way, except for the green hole. Those are more important than you, including that visa. Compared to the mechanical pushrow layout, the frame size is really unavoidable. Look at this frame, look at this, but look at Lin. Yuan has already said so, this is up and down. This and this scented flavor is actually not bad. Actually, it's not that bad, it's just this part. But what is it? You need to pay attention to this tune. Sometimes you have 4 screws to fix it. This data is a bit different. The effect of the adjustment is hard to say. I said, just adjust and adjust to see luck. There is a note of a roundabout tone. This side is especially large. This side is especially small. There's nothing we can do, we don't know the reason. I could only flip it over and rush it in my 40s, and once I just went awkward. Anyway, it's pretty mysterious. Proceed. This is roughly how it feels. Let me insert it for you and take a look. I rarely open them now, right? I think the factory feel is actually just fine. Let me explain. That's actually how it is. This is exactly the feel. Because he only has 2 flower beds. But Huashang is taking a segment approach. You see, although the gaps aren't that wide. But this section has a certain value. This kind of non-dense type. He even walked in paragraphs. Also, the 2 sides have the vermilion grooves corresponding to each other. So often, it is a resonance between 1 or 2 plants. Then it comes out of this ding-ding-ding-ding thing, it has a bit of a thing, right? The screw still needs to be tightened a bit. Then my screw is quite loose. So if he wants to make the nail matter bigger, you just need to tighten the screws. And then, I remember it was said to be a secret film package. It's not used either, and the inner dimensions are basically the same. I just used it right away. And then there's the spinning leg for the leg spin. Speaking of the grip, the leg rotation feels relatively tight. This one is also an appearance match, so you can pick it yourself. But relatively speaking, people like us are a bit lazy because sometimes we use the suspension. This and this tuning is troublesome. We go to the middle axle or something, but we are too lazy to disassemble it. He switches to whatever he sets it to almost every so often. The grip of this spinning leg is really not as good as the storage experience. The F2 is basically the feel of the F2 spinning kick. The tuning for you is really excellent, I just want to say. It's hard to replicate the feel of his straight leg swing kick. No matter how you adjust it, you can't get it. That one is indeed very comfortable, and this is produced by Lingyun. The reason is that you have to adjust it yourself. Currently, the top is quite tight. It looks quite brittle and tight, but when pushed directly, it's very loose. So what they want is something different. That is, pushing is a feel I protect. Tension is a matter of feel. People might think this way. What I like is basically pushing and suspension, the same feel. And since it's already pushed differently, is that really the way it pushes? Right, I push in one way, one spins, the other pushes. Actually, it's best to distinguish the feel of each one. Just have a feel to the touch. Today I'll give it a try. Let's see if we can restore the feel of the spin push. Well, I haven't opened it many times on my side. Honestly, the recent price hikes have caused a stir. It's a bit ruthless, not that they want to sell it. Right? It's not about relying on this. So what if it's a 1,000 yuan increase? Yes, actually, this is ours. It didn't really affect anything. You don't want me to eat either. I don't want to buy anything, but mainly because I'm a long-looking guy. I know in my heart, I'm not a scalper, but, right? Buying is like buying stocks. After all, we're still happy, which means our judgment is pretty good, right? Sigh. Just wait for the tall one. If you wait for the high price, I think the price of walnuts right now is actually quite reasonable. Sometimes it costs over 700 yuan, or even 700 or 800 yuan, and a second-hand one can get it done. Then let's see if it can drop further. After buying, it will drop again. Then it's a bit tricky. Then look, mainly now it is. Once the first batch is released, the price drops start with the second batch, and there are 3 more batches after that. This is the 4th batch, so when will you wait? When the 3rd batch arrives. When that time comes, just look at the price. If you want to make up for one, just make one. The factory is black, this is a signal for you. Otherwise, the ownership is still that kind of belonging seems to be black. This one has a slightly uneven feel, and the sound isn't loud, because the spring itself is also relatively loose. This is a familiar one, so let's switch to another. Switching to a white one, just because you don't want to draw taller? Oh, if you make the size a bit smaller, how can you match it and try it? This one is finished. You're ready. Actually, this is a small one, just squeeze a little and you'll know. This one is very plain. This is this one, this should be that one, that's the most. The strongest one is all placed on top. Give it a bit closer, but still can't do this. His hand-watching still relies on that resonance and that sound. Whether that voice is played depends on how you tune it out. Alright, relatively speaking, it's still quite sweet. This is mine. Too tight, a bit too tight. Let's change another piece. That one just now is for MIGs and works pretty well. I really am at home. This bead is a bit large. This pillar looks like it's 3.5 inches higher than the previous one. Previously, there were 3.15 and 3.17. Relatively speaking, if the pillar is large, it eats more aggressively. Well, I'm fine. Okay, but sometimes when it comes to things like that, even before you entered the real estate market, your photography was all about sounding good. But once you screw it in, you play with it a lot. Alright, how was that one dismantled? How was it installed? Just wait a little longer, just once. After replacing with this white ceramic wing pillar, how about this pillar that's 2 stories tall? It feels like this one really needs to be compared. That is, this reputation is much better than the original factory's reputation. Listen to the sound, Just cut the sound. It seemed like it was about to ding. Because the original factory was really timid just now, it just felt like it wasn't much trouble. Then it can be pushed open. This is relatively a moderate feel with a moderate strength. It's not that loose, but it's not that tight either. And it seems like the whole thing. The ore in the middle seems to have improved too. Not sure why it might be Turbo Dragon, but it seems like it turns out to be just right. Then the amount of ore also decreases. The overall firmness seems to be good, but you can use this for fun in the future. You see, Caralong actually needs to be a bit higher. It needs to accumulate the surface. Then, I promised not to say it was just these two. It's just these two sides. He wants to slide. Anyway, it's just a bit too low. If it's too low, this leads to the sound of these two touching each other. And I am like touching iron. Really not that great. This one also feels comfortable. Not bad, you should have time. If you have time, then replace the one inside. Where is the shaft handled? I've seen a few bloggers adjust it, but it's not very easy to adjust. So, this time let's just talk about those words later. This time they didn't adjust either. Alright, overall this is it. Recently, because it's still below the issue price, there have been quite a few breaks. The volume is quite large. Suggest this part. Go ahead and get started. It's still okay to buy it now. I suggest you can actually wait a bit longer. The second part features 2 sets of productions. The third installment also has practice killing over there to make. When the market is saturated with that volume, basically it could be a moment or half a moment for everyone. At this point, we add a Sue or fantasy, or if you like to add an Easter egg. Actually, brand new ones are pretty good. Then I suggested buying the stainless steel one. If you want to buy, actually, let's talk, everyone says this won't do, right? It might not be as good as this one that sues so much or cheaper. Just doubled. One who just bought 2 lawsuits has reversed. Absolutely. My sonic speed. For this golden slaughter city, then max out the strength. Isn't it said that once the later announcements are made, he'll be released? This is the steel field of this speed. Then they say it's just over 500 but less than 600. I bought one which is also a well-known Shenxian, and I think it's fine too. He might still be there then. The launch price of over 500 yuan, this 400 plus yuan is settled, right? There are plenty of things now. Actually, I think the feel is about the same, right? That person just accused me again. I think maybe his hand feels about right, maybe it's even worse than suing. So how should I put it? It's a recommendation to buy, but I don't recommend it. Buy it now and wait a bit. Proceed. That's all for today. Bye everyone.